Welcome back, and today's video is going to be Project 100 Uses Update. I am very excited. I love this project. I created this project based on Too Much Tosh's 100 Club. What I do is I have picked all powder makeup products like palettes, blushes, bronzers, that sort of thing. Things I know I will never finish, probably never even hit pan on, that I want to get to 100 uses, because I feel like 100 uses is a decent amount and it definitely takes a while to get to that. Now, obviously I use the products beyond that, but I don't track the usage. And I've been doing this project for a few years. I also do a lot of project pans where I am trying to completely finish things up. So all of that can be found in my project pan playlist. I have one for every year, and I also do shop my stashes as well on my channel. I upload 4 videos a week, so stay tuned for more. I will link Too Much Tosh. Like I said, she inspired me to create this project, and I did get to 100 uses on an eyeshadow palette in this update. So yeah, that is very exciting. I don't update on everything I'm keeping track of. I just kind of pick certain ones for each update. Oh, and I have a video on how I track usage. I'll link that in the description box. Let's get started. All right, first up is the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold Highlighter Palette, and I have used this 62 times. This is an interesting product because when I first bought this, I actually didn't like it that much because I felt like it was not as intense of a highlighter as I wanted at that time. But now I actually prefer a more kind of like subtle highlighter. And this with certain brushes looks more intense than others. So as you can tell, I'm like wearing away the imprint on the lighter gold and the pink. These are definitely the two that I use the most. And I always mention this for palettes, whether it's a face palette or an eyeshadow palette. If I just use one pan one time, that counts as one use. Or if I were to mix all of these together, that would still count as one use. So that's just how I do it for both face palettes and also eyeshadow palettes. I am tracking a few other face palettes as well in this project. Another one, let me see how much I've used this. This is the Ofra Island Time palette. This one I have used 49 times, and I really like this one. I particularly enjoy the blushes. This one looks like I've hardly used it, and that's because these blushes are very intensely pigmented. And sometimes when I use this, I even mix 2 of the blushes together. So yeah, I know this is crazy. It looks like it's untouched, but yeah, I have used that a decent amount and I really like it, particularly the blushes. I have a lot of my Natasha Denona palettes in this project because they are definitely my favorite and they are expensive, so I want to get my money's worth. And this is one of my favorites, and I am sad to say I haven't used it as much as I wish I had, and that is the Retro palette, and I've used this 11 times. I kind of thought I would have used it more because this one actually looks more used than some of the other palettes, which is interesting. But I'm thinking that maybe because when I use this palette, I usually do a whole eye look with it, where some of my other palettes, I may only pick and choose 1 or 2 eyeshadows and then mix it in with something else. So I don't know, kind of interesting. I feel like this palette looks like it's a bit more used, but yeah, only used it 11 times. I love it though. I really love this palette. So this is one I need to pull out and focus on using that one a little bit more. I don't think I've put that one in my Shop My Stash series. So sometimes these palettes do end up in my Shop My Stash, and then I just track my usage. So anytime that I use these palettes, I do keep track of it on my spreadsheet. So yeah, Retro is definitely one I want to use more. Then we have one of my older Natasha Denona palettes, and that is the Sunrise palette. And this one I have used 45 times, and I actually just filmed a look with this a couple weeks ago with this palette. If you want to see that for my Reviving Old Palette series, I've got a playlist for that. And I really, really do love this one. Some of the shades are not quite as pigmented as my other Natasha Denona palettes, but I do still love it, and I love that look that I created. So yeah, 45 uses for this one. And yeah, I want to film a look with Retro. I realize I have not filmed a look with the Retro palette, so that is on my to-do list. I definitely have more Natasha Denona palettes in this update. Next up is the Biba palette, and this one I've also only used 11 times. Now, in my defense though, Biba and Retro are newer-ish to me because I bought these both, like, I think November of last year, which is already like 4 or 5 months ago, which is crazy. But anyway, Biba, I've used it 11 times. I really love this one. It is very neutral and basic, but the quality is really amazing. I mean, these are some of the easiest to work with eyeshadows in my collection. I feel like I can just like quickly throw a couple of them on my eyelids and it just looks good. I feel like I hardly have to blend these shadows. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, 11 uses for this one. Again, this one and Retro are two that I definitely want to focus more on. Let's talk about one more face palette, and that is the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. This is a super old school oh my gosh, I just took a chunk out of it. Great. Oh man. Okay, I think it's okay. Just a tiny bit of damage was done. As I was saying, the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit, 58 uses on this one. And this one I feel like you can see, obviously there I just took a chunk out of it, but I've got a dip in this one. This is probably the one that I use the most. I think these two, Kitty Cat and Glow Getter. I am really loving this palette lately, which is interesting because I said I'm into more subtle highlighter than I used to be. And this is definitely more on the intense side, but I don't know, I feel like I can blend this out to where it's not like super crazy in your face highlighter. Yeah, interesting. This is a product I hadn't really used in a while, and I pulled it back out recently because I remembered it was in this project pan where I wanted to get more use out of it. And yeah, I've actually been really enjoying it. This shade Daydream, I don't know that I've used this like more than once. I need to use this one more. Clearly I go for the other 5, but I actually really like them all. Yeah, this is interesting because like now there's no way I would buy a highlighter palette anymore. But I used to be so into highlighter. Like obviously I've got the Charlotte Tilbury and I have several other highlighter palettes and individual highlighters. But yeah, highlighter, I was just all about the intense highlight, and now I'm more for like a medium intensity highlighter, and I've realized a lot of them look the same. So I haven't even bought a highlighter, I think in like over a year, which is crazy. But anyway, I really do like this one. Maybe this is one I will end up hitting pan on. I mean, it's not the goal of this project. I'm just counting usage. I'm not trying to hit pan, but if I did, that would be kind of cool. Alrighty, and then we have the Natasha Denona Glam Palette, and I've used this one 29 times. Again, this is one I really wish that I had used more because this one I've had for a while. I didn't buy it right when it came out, but I think I bought it several months later. Beautiful, very neutral. I really do love this one. It's really, really nice. I mean, obviously I've said Natasha Denona, my #1 favorite formula, but yeah, 29 uses on the Glam palette. Oh, and I have filmed a look with this one. I'm trying to get back into filming Get Ready With Me's and all of that, so we will see. I want to do more coming up soon. All right, and next up are my 2 larger Charlotte Tilbury palettes, although I now have a third one. I also have the Pillow Talk one. This is the Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette, and I've used this one 13 times. Again, this is one that I bought fall of last year, and I really love these larger Charlotte Tilbury palettes. I think they are really nice. And yeah, this one's beautiful. I love the greens, warm tones. You've got pinks. Actually has a lot of variety. So 13 uses for this one. Definitely want to focus on this one more as well. Alrighty, and then my older Charlotte Tilbury palette is the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize, and I have used this one 40 times. It's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't even look like I've used it that much, but these are pretty pigmented. I think these are really nice shadows, actually. I think this one's really nice. So 40 uses for this one. This one's got the purples, the reds, some kind of like neutral shades. Yeah, I honestly really love both of these palettes, and also the larger Pillow Talk palette. I think both are really fantastic. Like I said, there are plenty of other products that I am tracking in this project, but I don't update on all of them in every update. But let me show you the palette that I did get to 100 uses on. This one, Natasha Denona Green Brown palette. Now, you're probably thinking this does not look like you've used it 100 times, but these pans are very, very deep. These shadows are very pigmented. I do have a large dip. Oh, it's very reflective. There we go. Got a large dip in this eyeshadow, which is so boring. I know it's just a cream colored eyeshadow, but I set my eye primer every day with a color like this, and I'm a little bit picky about that. And I've realized that this one works very well for that. And then also there's a similar shade in the ColourPop So Jaded palette. I know that's so boring, but those two shades are my absolute favorite for setting my eye primer. Silly, I know, but I do think it makes a difference, and I like the undertone of this as well. So I've obviously used that one a lot because there's a big dip happening, but I've also used the other mattes quite a bit, and then like these shimmers, you can see there's a bit of a dent in those. But yeah, I have used this palette well over 100 times now because I'm pretty sure I got to 100 uses sometime last month actually on this one, because I haven't updated this project in a while, and I've definitely used it a decent amount since then. So I'm probably like at well over 100, maybe like 115 uses or something on this palette. This one, and I do have the purple blue, and that one is in this project too. I'm not updating on this particular update on that one, but those are my two most expensive makeup products I've ever purchased, which is obviously why I want to have them in this project, because I want to get my money's worth. Yeah, full price, these are $239. I bought the bundle for both of them for, I think it was like $300. So I paid about $150 for each one, which is still crazy. I know, even though I made that purchase like over like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. I'm still shocked by it, to be honest. I'm like, whoa, I spent how much on this? Crazy, because yeah, like those mid-sized Natasha Denona palettes are $65, which sounds super cheap compared to this. So anyway, that is obviously why I want to use this palette, but I do love it. I don't regret getting those, even though I think the price is insane. They actually are really good. So I do want to pull out the purple and blue and start focusing on that one again as well. So that is it for this update. I really enjoy this project because I don't try to hit pan on eyeshadows anymore. I just want to focus on rotating through my collection, shopping my stash. So for me, this project is like what I'm doing instead of a pan that palette or a pan those eyeshadows. I just want to get usage on my palettes instead of trying to hit pan on them. So that is it. Check out my Project Pan playlist for more. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys are doing this project as well. So let us know how you are doing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.